So welcome in Timișoara again. We are having this series of interviews thinking about the younger generations of musicians. Perhaps they will watch these interviews and they will wonder how to build their career. And it's very important for you to tell us your story, because you study music, and after that your career went along with managing and building other kind of music life, and it's very important for the younger generation, as I said, to understand that there's always a way in their life, in their career.
Exactly. Thank you very much, first of all, for having me here. It's always a pleasure to be here in Timișoara. As you said before, I started as well as a musician. Quite successful one. I was very satisfied with my career. Actually, I started first of all in Spain, my homeland in Mallorca, and then I moved to Austria to study further. And at some point during those years, I understood, okay, that's not really what makes you happy. And I discovered that actually I was investing a lot of time wondering and dreaming about organizing. And that's what I did. At some point, I have to thank my wife. She told me, you are spending more time planning and thinking how would you do, just do it. And that's how it started all.
Yeah.
So that's an advice I could give to all these younger musicians today. Being a musician is more than just playing an instrument. It's more than singing. It's more than conducting or being a theoretical. Being a musician, it's a way of life. And you have to see your place inside of the ecosystem of music and dedicate your efforts where you see you can contribute the best to music. That's the way I thought when I just decided to make a change in my life, and for me it worked.
But did you regret that you took this decision? No.
Never. I mean, of course you miss your instrument. I played the cello. I still have my cello. I still play with my children sometimes. But I never regretted making the step into management, because I never stopped making music. And actually, I managed to make music at a greater and much more wonderful level that I would have been staying as a cellist. I just happened to be touring and being orchestra manager of Cusamari Youth Orchestra, knowing some of the most the best concert halls, best festivals in Europe, and some of the most talented young musicians in all over Europe, not only the European Union, all over Europe, and traveling for the orchestra also to all the Eastern countries. And then being CEO of orchestras, it was also a very, very dear experience for me, because I just had the possibility to make music happen, make music a reality, and really to communicate with the public in a way that before was not possible for me. Develop audiences, develop a history that we could explain through the orchestra and through the music we were doing.
Yeah. I was asking you this question, if you had any regrets, because it's very important to emphasize the fact that you have to be very sure that you want to change your life, because you are a musician, you're studying hard, and maybe you're seeing this interview and say, oh, okay, I can do this, let's do it. But after that, you have all the regrets because you weren't made for this. So it's very important for you inside yourself to be sure that you want to do that thing, to be, I don't know, to become a very good chamber music player, or to be a soloist, or to be in an orchestra, part of an orchestra, or to be a manager. This is very important for a musician to understand. You have to be very certain of what you want to do.
Most of people who are unhappy, it's because they didn't do that job. First of all, knowing exactly what do I want to do, where do I see myself in 15 years, Many people just manage an audition. I did that. When I was CEO of an orchestra in Tenerife, we did some work with some psychologists because we had people who were struggling psychologically, even because they weren't even having a great job and playing amazingly and being good musicians. They were unsatisfied with their lives, actually. And it happened that some of them, they just happened to become violinists because the father said, you have to be a violinist because I'm a violinist.
Yeah.
And so they got the position, playing hard and practicing hard. They got the position at the orchestra, but they wanted to be doctor. They wanted to be whatever else. I mean, if you did your choice already to become a musician, you already had a long time to think, because it's a profession, that it's not a profession, it's a devotion. It's a vocation. Yeah? So you already did that decision once. Now, it's a fact. Not everybody can be in the 100 meters race in the Olympic Games. Only 10 of them will run. And you have to choose wisely which race are you gonna run in order to win some medal at some point. So another comparison I'm making very often, it's Formula One race cars. Even the Minardi, who's never winning, it's the driver is driving at 300 kilometers per hour. So he's not driving slow, believe me. But Ferrari is going to win, or McLaren is going to win. Yeah, but it's about some milliseconds sometimes, and we have to accept that reality. So choose wisely and choose carefully. Okay, and then when you have taken your decision, go for it. But know yourself. Be sincere to yourself. Be sincere in taking advice. Be sincere in listening and learning. Listen and learn. That's very important. Mostly we don't listen. We like to speak a lot, but we don't listen and we don't learn. So it's important if you are thinking about a management career. Well, I didn't start as CEO.
Yes.
Nobody does.
Of course.
I began with small jobs, helping in a production of something, helping in my conservatory. I was, okay, we need to do a production of a concert at the university. Hey, can I help? Can I do something? That's how I started with 17, with 18. And being proactive always. In management, you always need proactive hands. There's always too much work to do, and you will always have too much work. Like practicing, you will never practice enough hours. But that's how it is. So start from the bottom and use your chances. Learn always, learn and learn. Prepare yourself and learn, prepare yourself and learn. And slowly you will come to the point then you will be able to be, that your contribution will be relevant. And then it's when you can start building up your career as a manager. It's the same as an instrumentalist.
Yeah.
It's the same. Nobody is going to engage you if you don't, even in the smallest orchestra, if you don't play perfectly already. You have to know the job. And to know the job, you have to practice it, and you have to get the chances to practice it. And the only way to start is by doing.
Yeah.
It's of course, I also did my studies at university level, but when I did management studies, I already was managing.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a complement, it was more a network, it was also polishing several aspects of my knowledge and my preparation, and taking care also of, okay, I'm missing this and this and these aspects of the job, I should learn more about it. I'm learning every day.
Yes.
I'm the first one being CEO or being now agent. I have to learn the laws. For example, every time an orchestra comes to me, that was last May, we have a problem. They called me, we have a problem, we are about to cancel the concert because we don't get through this bureaucracy in this country, and can you know the country, so can you help us? Could you help us to solve this problem? And at the end I had to study the whole law of public tenure and tell them, okay, this is the solution. I will speak about it with the people at the office of the organizer and see if we can arrange it. At the end, it was, I mean, they called me 2 weeks before the concert.
Yeah.
15 minutes before the contract was signed.
Yeah.
So it was a success.
Yeah.
But very short in time, but it was lovely, and you have to learn it.
Yeah.
You have to be.
It's a tough experience, yes.
It
And
was,
you have to adapt.
It was
Yes.
beautiful. It was actually very beautiful because we knew it was going to be 15 minutes before, because that was the first time they could meet. But it was good. I mean, and that shows you have to be always flexible and willing to learn and willing to adapt and willing also to sometimes to stand your ground. I mean, no, this is not going to happen like this. This is going to happen like this because music requires this. I mean, you cannot make concessions on art. You can be flexible with everything but the art at the end.
Yeah, it's very important what you say now. It's your own experience here, and I hope that this interview will be heard for many young artists, and I'm sure that it will be useful for them. And my next question is, as an agent, what do you seek in a musician? I'm also thinking about the young musicians who's wondering what to do with the career. So how would I be a greater musician, and how would I go to greater stages and playing with big orchestras? So what do an agent seek for a young musician?
Well, I'm at the very first stages of my path as an agent, but when I choose my artists, actually many times it's them who are choosing me. Mostly it's because we have already a very strong personal relation together, and sometimes it's even a friendship. And I look for them always. The first thing I ask myself is, can I help this person? Can I really help this person to achieve the goals he's or she's setting? Because I'm not a magician. I'm a person, hardworking, and of course I know enough people. I crossed the path with many people along my career, and I hope to have left a good impression to most of them along these years. But that's not enough. At the end, who's standing on the stage is the artist.
Yeah.
So at the end, I look for great artists. I mean, musicians who I am proud to be able to say, "Wow, I'm working with him or with her," and it also represents me as an agent. How they play, it's also how I would like music to be done. Yeah, and the second, it's this personal relation. If we didn't have such a strong personal relation, we build it up as well, and because it's important. Because at the end it's a teamwork.
Yeah.
It's an absolute teamwork, and we try to speak several times a week, and not for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They are long talks, and we take a lot of time. And I've heard, I went, I said, and how we present things. And did you call, by the way, this guy? No, I know him better. Let me call first. And it's a lot of coordination of working together to get the things actually done at the end.
The portrait of an agent is somehow like a psychologist sometimes for the musician?
I would not call myself a psychologist. I'm not. Maybe that's not what I would say about myself. Maybe another one, yes.
Because you know that orchestra, and if that orchestra is proper for this musician, and that's why I'm asking this, because you have to know the people and the orchestra.
I would say, like in sports, we would be the coach. I mean, the coach is the one who's telling the football players at the end, okay, careful, this other team is playing this way, it's playing this strategy, you will find a defense of 4, and by the way, I don't know, Messi or Ronaldo, you are going to find a double defense on you, so they will pin a man always on you just to have you covered, and that's the coach who's making all these things and makes sure that every player knows exactly how, where, what to play, and that's sometimes the role of an agent, and we are always in the shadow, you know. When there's a goal, it was always the player who scored. When there's a penalty and the goalkeeper stops it, it's always the goalkeeper who stops it. Nobody cared if the trainer did the whole list or where will this player shoot or statistics and so on.
True,
and nobody cares at the end, but as in the trainer, if you lose the match, it's the trainer who's going to be blamed. I'm kidding, of course. That happens in sports, in football. But I would define it's a teamwork.
It's a teamwork, yes. Yeah. I wanted to talk about all these details because here in Romania, again, I'm telling the same thing. The younger generation of musicians, they hear about music agents, the impresarios, and they just projecting an image, a wrong one, because they think that impresario will come someday to hear them, and they will say, okay, come with me, I will make you a great career, you will be a great musician, I'm going to, I don't know, somehow as a sculptor, doing all the things for you, and you will become something greater. But this is not what is going to happen.
If you find somebody who tells you that and still asks you about money for this, run.
Yeah.
Because it's a scam. I have to give a message of calm. It's not only happening in Romania. So welcome to the club. You are already for some years European, so you are in the same troubles as we all. In every country, it happens in Austria, happens in Germany, it happens in Switzerland, it happens in Spain, it happens everywhere. So that's good news. That's good news. You are not alone. The point now is to learn and to have a much more accurate view of what an agent can do for you, or what can you do actually for an agent. Because, you know, I said it's a teamwork, and in a team we have to collaborate. It's not only taking always, it's sometimes giving, and sometimes it's inspiration, hard work. And as a young artist, of course, you are not going to be able to say, no, I'm coming in the agency with 10 concerts already a year. That's not going to happen. Then you didn't need an agent. But as we said before, we are not musicians. We are hard workers. We are somebody who maybe can know better how to prepare the field, or prepare the game to be successful and be able to win matches. But at the end, you are going to have to play the game. And playing the game means absolutely. That's not even necessary to say. You have to be brilliant in your instrument, in your artistry, or in your performance, in your presentation. Yeah? And you have to network. I mean, you have to learn how to network, how to speak with people, how to present yourself. Because, I mean, if you go to network, if you go to Classical Me or to any other summits or competitions, and you show up late and you don't dress accurate, or you are just rude to somebody, or just a bit arrogant to somebody, you are not making yourself a favor. You have to learn how to present yourself and how to behave in a business world, actually. It's an arts world, yes, but it's also a business world. It has these both aspects. So you have to know how to be there for yourself and behave, how to speak in public. You have to practice that. You have to, if they ask you, okay, who are you? You have to have an answer ready. You have to at least know yourself as good enough to be able to say, hey, my name is Miquel. I'm an agent. I just built my agency 6 months ago, but I have been CEO of orchestras for the last 10 years. And you have to have practiced that.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you don't get the attention. You just missed your opportunity. Mm-hmm. And that's it. It's gone. Trains pass once, many times. There are some trains who pass sometimes more. But usually these kind of trains passed once in your life. And if you were not prepared, if you were not prepared in the meaning of doing your homework, it's work, yes, you have to do it, then it's gone. So you have to really be ready and be very well aware how to present yourself. And also we spoke about prepare yourself artistically, prepare yourself about how to present yourself, and at the end, be generous. Sometimes I have seen great artists, they were at the top, they were not generous enough. They sank. This is not a 100 meters race, actually. Before I said the 100 meters race, this is more like a marathon. You have to save energies and help your colleagues. I mean, if you see how the runners do the marathon, you don't see them in this kind of pushy way. They are actually, before the race and after the race, they are all good friends. And they go one after the other and covering the wind and all these strategies. And only, then somebody can just try to hide always and get the wind cut by another, and then at the last second run. But in the next race, believe me, they are not going to let him put behind. They are going to leave him. So this is a marathon. So my advice, in my experience, always, be generous, because this generosity will come back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. It's my pleasure.